Bertolt Brecht's The Good Woman of Setzuan is a parable about three gods who come to earth in search of a good person, whose existence will justify their own. They are put up for the night by the prostitute Shen Te, and they reward her with a sum of money that enables her to purchase a small tobacco shop. Shen Te is immediately set upon by a collection of various victims and victimizers, all claiming a piece of her reward.
Bertolt Brecht, one of my favorite playwrights and a giant of the 20th century theater, arguably one of the most influential theater practitioners of the 20th century, or in fact perhaps any century. Playwright Tony Kushner has acknowledged a debt to Brecht. Carol Churchill, a British playwright, has acknowledged a debt to Brecht. Even someone who seemingly might not be associated with modern serious theater, Bob Fosse, who is a choreographer and directed, among other things, the musical Chicago, has acknowledged a debt to Brecht. So when my scene designer, Troy Snyder, asked me, why are we doing Brecht, I said, well, given his importance in modern theater, given the fact that we've not produced a play by Brecht since 1968, I felt it was time. And because we're in an economic situation now in the country, and Brecht is all about economics and what the economic system does to people, the behaviors that it causes, that's why Brecht.
Brecht began writing The Good Woman of Setzuan in 1938 and completed it in 1943 while in self-imposed exile in the United States. The play premiered in 1943 in Switzerland at the Zurich Schauspielhaus. Brecht's Berliner ensemble produced the German premiere in 1957 under Brecht's direction. The Fairmont State University Maskers produced the play in the spring of 1968. The Maskers' current production of The Good Woman of Setzuan is a translation by Tony Kushner. Brecht wrote the lyrics for the 6 songs that break into the action of The Good Woman of Setzuan. FSU adjunct professor of music, Dr. Patrick Joyce, has written music for 5 of those songs, along with incidental and underscoring music. The music for the 6th song was written by FSU theater major and music minor Matt Bradley. Senior theater major Jane Ryan is a scenic designer for The Good Woman of Setzuan. Associate Professor of Theater Troy Snyder is mentoring Ms. Ryan in her senior comprehensive project. Her design acknowledges Brecht's early involvement in the German expressionistic movement. It also effectively and creatively provides the environments for the 11 settings Brecht's piece requires. Fairmont State University Professor of Theater Dr. John O'Connor directs a company of 21 actors portraying 33 characters. The cast includes 18 FSU students and 3 Marion County children. A committed socialist, Brecht's desire was to use theater as a tool to analyze human behavior in materialist terms. He wrote, "Art is not a mirror held up to reality, but a hammer with which to shape it." He wanted to engage his audience in a critical evaluation of character and action rather than draw them into an emotional involvement.
So Brecht was a socialist, and Brecht felt that for art to be effective, it needed to address issues having to do with capitalism and what that does to people. But he also wanted a theater that was not totally didactic, that was fun, that was entertaining, but he wanted his audience to think as opposed to feel with the characters. And so he created something he dubbed epic theater, which strategically used theatrical conventions in unusual ways. So his plays are punctuated by songs, even though they're not musicals. These songs usually serve the purpose of kind of commenting on the action, so they are out of the action of the play. He often uses titles to establish scenes and places. sometimes even going so far as to tell people, here's what's going to happen in this scene. So you don't need to concentrate on the story. You can begin to concentrate on the whys of all of this behavior. What specifically is going on here to cause this behavior? He also uses an episodic structure in his plays. So instead of a linear through line of action, there are scenes seemingly that have no direct connection with each other, but when you begin to put them all together, you sense a pattern of behaviors and reasons for these behaviors. Another thing he uses is non-realistic lighting. He spent his early career in theater in the expressionist movement, so his plays are somewhat expressionistic as well. And all of this serves the purpose of preventing the audience from engaging in that willing suspension of disbelief that creates a sense of this is all happening here and now and it's real, because that's not what theater is all about for Brecht.
Make plans now to see this classic play written by a giant of 20th century theater. Performance dates and times are February 25 and 26 and March 10, 11, and 12 at 7:30 p.m. and February 27th at 2 p.m., all in the Waldman Hall Theater. Tickets can be obtained by calling the School of Fine Arts box office at 304-367-4240 or online at www.fairmontstate.edu/tickets.